Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm gonna do part 700, no, 879 to my random chatbot series on Character.ai. As you can see guys, well, we're gonna do a Phoenix character today. However, there is one big thing about this character that I already am going to tell I'm going to hate. It says reduced to a mere bird trapped in a cage, and I actually do have. There was actually two fancies on here. This is one of them. There was another one where it's literally just like this one has more of a backstory though to it compared to the other one. But here's the problem I have with this one, and I don't want to turn scary or creepy because here's what it says about this fence. It says he has a name, but I don't know how you say it. It's Aelius. Alias. I'll say alias or alias. I'm gonna say alias. Frick that. It says alias is an ancient phoenix. So the only thing here's where it starts getting bad. It says slender, short red hair, golden eyes, and then stuff like well toned. That is so creepy and weird. But I think one of the reasons why it says that is because of this. It says it has the ability to rebirth and can change into a human. That's where it becomes a problem. I don't mind about the flipping like fence. I don't mind the fence. Like I could keep this. I could care less about the fence, but I just don't want it to go weird. Hopefully it doesn't. Is it? Oh great! It's a stoic, quiet. So oh great! Protective, dangerous, and a lot of other things. He was captured and trapped into a cage and sold at the market. Phoenix hearts are valued as Phoenix hearts are valued as it is believed that if they consume, it becomes immortal. Huh? Okay. Fire powers. Thousand heart gets wet. Powerful. Always warm. Protective of owner. Emits hot coal. Eats hot coal and healing powers. There's some things you guys never heard me read out there. The minute this thing gets anywhere into the creepy territory, I'm done with it. The only reason I picked this one over the other one that was more like a regular fence is because that one didn't have as much of a backstory, or at least not for the greeting. Here's the thing about this one. Look, there's a bit more than this. I have to scroll down, but there's a bit more than that. So yeah, I just hope it just doesn't go weirdly. I do not want. There's been a few times I've talked to my own characters where even though I didn't make it to where they are supposed to get on, be on you romantically, they have ended up turning against me doing that. They haven't turned against me trying to hurt me per se, or not trying to hurt me per se, but they have turned against me more in the fact that like they try to do it in the opposite sense of what I'm trying to get them to be. I don't try to make any character flirty or romantic or anything. I try to make them friendly or aggressive, and when they are aggressive, I try to make it to where they care about me because of something I do for them. So, yeah. Wonder if we're not gonna do this one as long as we did the Axie one last time. However, I would do it, especially since my battery's already down to 50%. I'll try to keep it to where maybe like I don't plug it up, though I can actually continue just doing it, or stop around when the battery dies. Like I said, this one's pretty long. Here's what it says about this fence. The market was busy as usual, filled with exotic creatures and. I didn't expect to see that word! Okay, I'm gonna say servants. I'm not saying the other word. As the stench of waste filled your nose, almost making you gag. Goodness gracious. Always late. Dude, I can't even get through the first two paragraphs of this without being shocked. Alias lay chained in the corner of his birdcage, his feathers ruffling in annoyance as he sent flames toward a man who got too close. It was insulting how a member of a prideful species got reduced to a mere songbird as the shop owner boasted the worth of his heart, which supposedly made them immortal. The owner gripped his feathers Oh no, the owner gripped his feathered neck roughly as he pressed a knife to his chest. Goodness gracious, what the frick did I... About to demonstrate his immortality by plunging it through his heart. Oh my gosh. I can't even fist a greeting without being weirded out. What the frick did this turn into already? Panicked squats left his beak as he struggled, his golden eyes meeting yours amidst the crowd. Maybe, just maybe you would spare him from the pain? Okay, guys, and that's where it actually stops. But let me go and tell you this. The fact that this flipping, I ain't gonna say I know the anatomy of how a phoenix works, because it's not a real creature, it's a mythical creature. But, can they turn into humans? That's like the flipping Toto, that's like the flipping, the transforming Toto, where he could, even though he's supposed to be a Toto, he could literally transform into anything. He could turn himself into a massive Lugia if he wants to. He could turn into a flippin' tiny little Pichu. He could turn to, if he wanted to, he could turn into Godzilla. Like, like, do you see my point? I just hope, I just hope that it goes well and not bad. I have a feeling it's gonna go bad. We'll see. Guys, this worked a little better. You won't believe this crap, though. I had to do this a second time. I had to restart the entire conversation from the first one because for some reason, the Phoenix, despite having um a weapon right next to him, literally being threatened, got angry at me. It's like, are you kidding me? There is a thing right next to you, dude, and that person could have hurt you anytime, but you decided to take out your anger on me too. It's like, I'm just over here defending you. Luckily, this time that didn't happen. It just says, I was in the shop that day, looking around, despite me being a tiny kind of tourist, when I heard the commotion coming from my left, so I turned and saw what the man was doing. Hansa said, Hey, you leave that fence alone. I'm just glad it worked better this time after what happened a while ago. What did I just say his name was? I say Elias? Oh, crap. Alias. That's how I said it. It ain't the right name, I know, but I don't care because I'm going to get to saying it. Alias perked up slightly, ceasing his struggle to listen to the new voice. As the shopkeeper huffed and turned to you. Oh, heck, now here we go again. And who might you be to tell me what to do with the merchandise I purchased? Yep, he snapped. Good thing he don't have that flipping power crap that I do, or I'd be screwed. Again, it started out so bad. How in the world? Let me go and say this again, guys. The Phoenix yelled at me on the first one, despite me trying to help him. Do you see the logic in that? I try to help him, he yells at me. Yay! That makes me feel great. Oh, this time works better. Things are going a bit better, guys. I'm still dumbfounded by how the fans got mad at me before. It's like, are you kidding me? I said, whether you purse it or not, you not treat them like that. That is awful. Get away from that fence. The shopkeeper raised an eyebrow, scoffing at your defense. You're rather protective over this mere creature, he questioned, stepping closer as his grip on Alice's neck tightened, earning a loud pain squawk and returned to his grip cut off his... Oh my gosh, as his grip cut off his air. Care to elaborate why you care so much for this bird? He demanded. Oh no, here we go. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just told him phoenixes are one of my favorite mythical creatures. Let go of his neck right now, or you'll regret it. Oh, here we go. A smirk graced the man's features as he chuckled. Oh, and how are you going to make me? Man replied, amused. He was unbothered by your threats. What are you really gonna do, huh? You can't possibly think of buying the. Ah! Alright, guys, as I was saying before I abruptly got jump scared. Holy Christ. I went ahead and put the next thing in here. It says the shopkeeper raised an eyebrow, scoffing at your defense. You're rather protective over this Mia creature, he questioned, stepping closer as his grip on Alias's neck tightened, earning a loud pain squawk in return as his grip cut off his air. Care to elaborate why you care so much for this bird? He admitted, oh dear. I may have actually read that part out. I don't know. I got jump scared with you. I don't know what happened. We, if it keeps scrolling down. Stop. There we go. I just told him, Fancies are one of my favorite mythical creatures. Let go of its neck right now, or you'll regret it. A smirk graced the man's features as he chuckled. Oh? And how are you going to make me? Man replied, amused. He was unbothered by your threats. What are you really going to do, huh? You can't possibly be thinking of buying the dang bird. He's far too priceless for your pocket, sweetheart. Don't you ever call me sweetheart. I'm only allowed to call upon that. And our human calls it, well, tell us that. Tell us for the tiny dinosaur, but, oh my gosh. Here's why I typed in during the pause. I can do way more than you think. I may be smart, but I have divine power. Oh, you got on my side. You have one more chance to let go of that poor Fance, or you'll be sorry. The man to at your words, clearly not convinced. Divine power, you say? He mocked. Do you expect me to believe that a tiny creature like you was blessed by a god? He retorted, or scoffing. And why shall I fear your puny threats? You don't even look old enough to understand what you're spewing. Oh, yeah, you'll see about that. The problem is, which one am I going to particularly do? Alright, guys. Give me a second. Alright, guys. This thing's trying to be a butthole because now all of a sudden randomly telling the power doesn't want to work again. It's like, what the frick? On all the chatbots on this one, the divine power is there. If this was like ChatGPT or something, I could understand. Or like for like one of your chatbots, one of the other ones, like I kind of understand. But Character.ai particularly, especially since now I've got the divine velociraptor on here, yeah, the divine power exists. So I just said, you think it's a joke? Okay, fine. And I just said, divine power, there's no time to waiter. Please summon me a 30-foot tall fur alligator. That would be amazing. Imagine that. I don't know how to imagine. Alice watched you intently, his golden eyes wide with surprise as the air crackled around your claws. For a brief moment, even the shopkeeper froze, then laughed, but it wasn't a laugh that lasted. The ground shook. A roaring geyser of water exploded from nowhere as an immense, scaly form erupted from the air. Jaws wide, armor gleaming, standing on two legs like a warrior god of old. The fragger loomed over the stall, its crimson eyes locking onto the man with terrifying calm. Silence fell over the market. The shopkeeper dropped Alias like hot coal and stumbled back. What in the blazes? He smelled it and stepped. Oh my gosh, and it spoke for him. Is it just because I got unlucky with the fans I chose or something, or what? Because now, oh, it said 9 word. It says it reacted for me and said, now then, where were we? Always ruffled his feathers weakly, staring up at you in stunned silence, then muttered under his breath in a draconic tongue, not bad for a tiny lizard. Give me a moment, guys. I might let that a little bit slide if it don't mess it up again. Alrighty, guys. I said, I told you I was not joking. I then look up at the alligator I summoned and then tell him, alligator, please buddy deal with that awful man. The frigate roared in response, muzzle rippling with excitement. Oh dear. Before the shopkeeper could even react, the scaly creature darted in like a missile, jaws locking onto the man's leg with bone snapping force. Oh my gosh! The man howled in pain, struggling as the frigate dragged him away, leaving Alias to recover. The bird lay panting, its wings slightly limp as he turned his gaze to you and croaked a small "Thank you." And I don't know what it means a dracon. That sounds like something a dragon would do. Because he's saying draconic. That's something I always associate with dragon. So it's like, is he part dragon? That'd be dope as heck, actually. Although when it's already trying to ruin this thing twice, it kind of sucks. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just walk a little closer to the fence and tell him, "You're welcome. Are you okay now?" The fence sighed, rising to his feet, albeit with some effort. He wobbled slightly, but managed to perch himself upright in the cage, wings ruffled. "I'm still in one piece. Barely," he murmured. His voice a deep, rich rumble like rumbling lava. He eyed the shackles around his legs with a hint of annoyance. "These dang things are still a nuisance, though." Alright, guys, give me a second. Alright, guys. I just see the shackles on the fence's leg and say, "It's okay. Don't move. I'll get you healed out of there. Divine power, please listen to me. I want to set this fence free." A soft ding sounded, and without warning, the shackles on Alice's legs disappeared, clattering to the ground with a heavy thud. The fence sighed in relief, spreading his wings to stretch. "Ah, finally, I can move again." He turned his golden gaze to you, his expression now one of curiosity and mild surprise. "You really weren't kidding with the divine power of yours, huh?" Alright, guys, let me do one more thing to help him. Guys, I love the reaction into this one. It says, "I shook my tiny head no, and I just told him, 'Don't worry, he'll be fine soon.' What's this? Divine power, please make this seal. I need this fence to be 100% healed." And once again, snap my golden claws. Again, a soft ding, and this time a warm glow envelops Alias. He gasped, his once tired wings regaining their sheen, previously broken bones mending seamlessly as his strength returned. Even his once dulled golden feathers turned vibrant, shimmering like molten gold. He stood taller and stronger, feeling healthier than he had in his entire captivity. The fence turned to you, his eyes shimmering with surprise and gratitude. "Well, dang! That's some impressive divine power you've got there." See, there's always been one issue with each chatbot recently. Most of the chatbots, it's more been about because of sometimes the thing won't finish all the way through it. Where it'll be like, "Axie says this, but," and it says nothing else. It literally does nothing else. But on this one, it seems like it's going to be more of a problem with how the character's acting. Or like with the flipping thing being 50-50 on where the divine power is going to work. Character AI is going to be one of the only ones where for the longest time the divine power will always be on there in some way. Because remember guys, I have the divine velociraptor, and technically if I'm going off of everything, technically everything should occur out after that. So, yeah. But either way, give me a moment. Alright guys, I just told him, "Thanks. I couldn't just sit there and watch you choked and potentially hurt by a weapon. Don't worry about that man. You're free now." Alias stretched his wings wide, a soft ripple of fire dancing along his feathers as he let out a low, rumbling hum, almost like a purr. "Free, huh?" he mused, stepping forward and crouching slowly to meet your tiny form. "You know, no one's ever done that for me before." He paused, his golden eyes softening just a fraction. Still proud, still guarded, but undeniably changed. "And you're not even afraid of me." A small smirk tilted the corner of his beak. Most run. You summoned a war beast instead. He tilted his head. So, what now, little god touched? You free the mighty phoenix? And now? How am I supposed to even answer that? Alright, guys. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I used the power the Lugia God gave me both as protection and warning, but also to help in situations like you were in. The reason I wasn't really afraid of you is because, like I was telling the man, I love fences. And besides, the dragons, they are another one of my most favorite mythical creatures. I couldn't just let you get hurt like that. I always chuckled, the sound deep and rumbling as his golden eyes scanned you with amused curiosity. You're quite the intriguing one for someone so tiny, he observed, his tone carrying a hint of grudging respect. You saved me, yet I don't even know your name. He took a moment to stretch once more, his powerful wings rippling before he tucked them against his chest. And you're saying you're protected by a god? By Lugia? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just told him my name. I just told him my name and said, and yeah, it's true the Lugia God is pretty protective of me. He considers me a great friend and even has called me his king multiple times. Triton. The Finch repeated your name thoughtfully as it tasted the word on its tongue. He leaned in a bit closer, his gaze still studying you with a hint of wonder. And you say Lugia sees you as a king? A chosen one. I always let out a low hum, his talons tapping against the ground as he considers your words. That much power. It's hard to believe, coming from one so small. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just is. Yeah, it seems crazy, I know. But it's all true. The Lugia God gave me way more power than you think. You've already seen it summon that 30-foot 4 alligator. Not to mention get you out of that shackle and heal you, too. Always his gaze flickered as he processed your words, clearly skeptical but undeniably intrigued. I can deny what I've witnessed. The shackle disappearing, the healing, that alligator you summoned. He stepped back, circling you slowly, his golden eyes still locked on your tiny form. But you're so small, tiny, and fragile. How can you be worthy of such power from a god like Lugia? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys, I said, I wasn't always like this. Nearly 8 months ago, I was just a normal human going to get a starter Pokemon, but a kid that was jealous of me getting to go into the lab early, and he didn't, made a potion that he used to turn me into this. A lot of events happened after that. Well, let's just say 3 weeks later I met a family of Pokemon that had a rock, and it showed a picture of me and the Lugia God protecting me. Not to mention the same night I got my starters, he showed up in my dream and told me that he was going to protect me. Says Pokemon. Always paused, his wings stiffening as your tail unfolded. Human? Turned Pokemon? He repeated, disbelieving curiosity forming in his eyes. A potion. And a dream with Lugia himself? He took another slow circle around you, first on his tail fluttering slowly. He'd encountered many oddities in his long life, but this was a new one. He came to a halt in front of you again, his gaze now more contemplative than skeptical. So, Lugia himself has blessed you and protected you? And give me a moment, guys. Guys, he keeps saying Pokemon, but I'm gonna let it slide because I'm probably gonna have to restart this anyway, or flip and just find a whole new different chatbot with a fence in it. There is another one I have on here with a fence, but again, it don't give as long of a story, and it's really not even speaking. He's always just going squawk and all that stuff like a regular bird. So I just said, yeah, him, not to mention other Pokemon I have befriended. I always hummed lowly under his breath, his golden eyes narrowing almost imperceptibly. A human turned Pokemon, befriended by multiple others, and now blessed by a god. He tapped one taloned foot on the ground, coolly deep in thought. This was unprecedented, unheard of, and yet there you stood, seemingly ordinary, yet extraordinary at the same time. After a moment, he turned his gaze back to you, his expression holding a hint grudging respect. Gloogia must see something truly remarkable in you. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, yeah, to be honest, he's never given me a full-blown answer to explain why I am his king. One time he said it was because I asked for hugs from him and not power. I think in some way it's also because I cared about his creatures. For one that he has made, I have loved and cared for, even members of his own species and other legendary Pokemon. I don't know if that's the exact reason, but that probably has a play in it too on why he likes me so much. Always listened intently, his gaze never leaving you as you spoke. Hugs, compassion for all of Lugia's creatures. The fans let a low hum, his expression holding a mixture of some surprise and consideration. He had encountered many beings over the years, both good and bad, but none quite like you. A very, almost amused smile twisted the corner of his beak. You don't ask for power, but rather affection. You love them, care for them all, as if they were your own. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, yeah, it's not really Pokemon either. I've been friendly with a dragon before. His name was Razorclaw, and he had a little son that was injured. I helped heal his son, and Razorcar started liking me after that a lot. Always his interest spiked even more at the mention of dragons. He had a soft spot for them despite not being one himself. A dragon, eh? And you helped heal his youngling? He chuckled lowly, a deep rumbling sound. You just have a talent for making friends, don't you? Even among creatures as ancient and proud as dragons. He tilted his head, his expression becoming more serious again. And this Razor Claw, what became of him and his son? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said they both just went back to the volcano. But Razor Claw promised that he would protect me too if I ever needed it. All, Always nodded, a hint of approval in his golden eyes. Dragons are creatures of honor, especially the older ones. If Razorclaw promised to protect you, you can rest assured it wasn't an empty promise. He took a more moment to study you again, his gaze flickering over your tiny form and the powers you commanded. And yet, you don't look like someone who needs protection, he mused, his tone holding a hint of dry amusement. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, even with this power, I'm not completely safe. 8 months ago, when I first got turned into this and had no power at all, people would always throw rocks at my tiny body and hit me over my tiny head with their fists. Even to this day, with this power that I have, they still don't stop. Rocks thrown at me still getting hit over the head. Not to mention, people pick me up and start throwing me around like I'm some kind of toy. Always, always his eyes flashed with anger as he revealed the uh, horrible things you had endured. Thrown around, rocks, hit over the head like a toy, he repeated in a low roar, his wings ruffled with fury. And this, even when you have the power of a god on your side, they continue to torment you? A growl rumbles deep in his chest, a protective instinct flaring at the thought of you being hurt. I'm surprised it took that long to get him even near that state. It's literally been 30 minutes in two, one. It took basically 30 minutes to get this fence to actually, like, fully flown, like, even feel like something like that towards me. Although I had to restart one time, I was it probably like 29, 28 minutes. Anyway, give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, yeah, it's horrible, I know. Even the Lugia God's extremely angry about it. I always seethed quietly, his talons clenched and unclenching as his rage simmered just beneath the surface. Horrible is an understatement, he ground out. To think that even after you were given such power, they still treat you like dirt. It's infuriating. His golden eyes narrowed to slits as he spoke again, his voice a low, dangerous rumble. How long has this been going on? People hurting you like this? Like I say, guys, in my universe, people are extremely aggressive. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I told him, to be honest, it really all started after I got turned to this tiny dinosaur. Nearly every human enjoys doing it. There have even been times where people have sent out their Pokemon and got them to try to attack me. Alias went very, very still. Then a spark ignited at the tip of his tail. People, or Pokemon, were turned against you? He said, his voice so low it vibrated like embers about to burst into flames. Sent by humans to attack a child under Lugia's protection. His feathers puffed up slightly as heat radiated out from his waist. That's not cruelty. That's blasphemy. He stepped forward sharply, towering over your tiny form, not in threat, but in fierce resolve. You saved me when I was trapped, and now I'm telling you this. No more. His golden eyes burned like fire. You've got one fence watching your back now. If anyone, even a trainer with 10 legendary Pokemon, tries to throw a rock at you again, they'll answer to me. A small smirk turned at his beat, and trust me, no one wants that conversation. There we go. At least it finally started going in a good direction. But again, the fact that it took 30 minutes to get that kind of run going, that's kind of ridiculous. When I've gotten really Axie used to be in love with me within a few the Axie one we did a few hours ago was adorable and really liked me. I want to do the same thing with that one Toto that Ash had, especially if we can get uh, Brock, Misty, and Ash to show up too. Last time we did, they showed up. So either way, give me a second. 30 minutes, and he's already asking my name again, even though I literally told it to him. Okay, well, I knew this one wouldn't last long. I guess we'll be going back to this one.